Hey, what's up? It's me, your girl TC, back with another according to a black girl topic and conversation for you. That's right, it's for you. And if you've seen this shirt before, just mind your business. It's my favorite shirt. I love it. It's comfortable, it's quick, it's light. And I've been in the house all day, so who gonna check me, boo? Yes, I am back. According to a black girl, remember that I am coming to share my experiences with you, not only about the corporate world, but traveling and just day to day on how I live my life. According to, guess who? Me. Me. Nobody else but me. And remember, all the things that I talk about are subjective. So you can agree or disagree. It doesn't even matter. But these are my experiences. This is how I think. So that's why I say it's subjective. And this is a safe place and space. All of that to say, today we are here to talk about black people dealing with emotions. Yep. I remember this topic being something that was super taboo back in the day. And I say taboo because black people kind of frowned on mental health care and mental health, period. Mental diseases. I think it was, I don't know if it was frowned upon. I don't have like data to back that up or anything. But when I was growing up and I would hear people say things, I mean, it was an experience, right? Like, they're crazy. You go into a psychiatrist or, just, again, it was a taboo topic. It was something that the black community just didn't embrace at the time, especially when I was growing up. I grew up, I'm an 80s baby. Hold your applause. Yeah, so it wasn't something that was heavily spoken about in our community when I grew up. But yeah, it's pretty much a taboo topic. It's something that the black community where I was at, they didn't really embrace it. So you didn't hear a lot of people talking about going to therapy, and just working through those issues or being diagnosed with different, mental health issues such as, depression, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. None of those were seen about or called out in the community. Also, we know the history with black people and how the medical field is with them, right? We do know that. We do know why black people have a phobia of dealing with medical situations. We do know that, right? Okay. Now that we've cleared that up, it's something today that is accepted a little bit more than what it was when I was growing up. And I'm here for it. I'm here for black people getting therapy. I'm here for us, going through our emotions and being human, right? Not all humans are the same. And I say that all the time and nobody listens. But yeah, so yeah, it's more of a focus now, to ensure that your mental health is intact, to ensure that you're taking the steps, the necessary steps to kind of get over, whether it's medication, whether it's an outlet that you have, maybe being creative, maybe speaking to friends and just being able to convey your thoughts out loud to somebody. To me, I feel like all of those things are healthy. I am not a medical person. I do not have a medical degree, girl. Listen, or boy. But listen, I can say with certainty. Talk to somebody if you feel like, you depressed or you sad about something or suicidal thoughts, anything like that. Just talk to somebody, because there are times where I myself get into a funk, a bit of a funk, a depression, whether I'm overwhelmed, whether it's day to day things that go on at work, or it could be me dealing with my kid. Different things could overwhelm you. So it's natural. It happens. Again, we're human. We go through these emotions, but definitely talk to a medical professional about things that you may be dealing with. They may be able to diagnose you properly. They will be able to diagnose you properly. Just actually seek medical attention if you want to be diagnosed. I am not here to do that. I am not here to diagnose nobody. I am just here to speak my truth. But yeah, so as a Black person, I do find it difficult to talk through things that I deal with. And I've always had this issue, and I know it has something to do with my upbringing and how I was brought up, and all those things play a part in your life when you become an adult. So if you got spankings or whoopings or whatever you want to call it when you were a kid, some of the trauma that you received from those spankings or whoopings are being translated out in your life as an adult. So, when your mother or father told you to stop crying after a spanking or a whooping, because listen, Black people know that we used to get whooped, we used to get spanked, all of that. We used to get tapped on the hands, anything, fussed at, cussed at, all of that. But I think now, because this is a day and age with so much technology, so much information, we are in the information age. There is so many ways that information is accessible through internet. Internet is just like that. Books. We have a plethora of books out there that you can read. Medical advice, talking to a doctor, and getting the information from them. So it's so many different avenues now versus what it was prior to. So I would say definitely go out and use all of those, some of those, one of those, any of those. But yeah, I can understand how it could be difficult because you don't want to put your problems onto people. But like I was saying before, I got sidetracked. Oh my gosh, I always get sidetracked. And I have structure today. But yeah, so a lot of what was happening to me previously in my childhood contributed to how I try to suppress my emotions today, by not, communicating effectively, by not wanting to bother somebody and talk through maybe what's happening in my life or what's causing me to be overwhelmed. I have 3 best friends, and we've been friends for 20 years. And I think about how I go into my melancholy state, and I just kind of pull away from them. And I don't want to burden them with problems, because to me, my problems are insignificant compared to some things that they could be possibly going through. One of my friends went through a relationship situation. She was married and she got a divorce. I had another friend who had to have surgery. And I also had another friend who had to go through dialysis. So compared to those things, I felt like my problems were so minimal. I didn't feel like it was worthy enough to bring up in a conversation or to discuss or to talk about. So I just pulled away and suppressed my emotions and didn't talk to anybody, didn't tell anybody how I was feeling. And it was a dark time, let me tell you. It is not something that you want to do. But I talked to them about it because I always I bring myself out of that state, because I think I think you can't, I think what I am very strong about trying to take myself out of that scenario and moving forward and going up. But I will say for this year, for 2021, this was the year that I stayed in that state the longest. Like I couldn't focus at work. I was like super just lazy at the house. I didn't do anything as far as like I did stuff, but it wasn't compared to how I normally am with how I keep my house and how I'm anal about it. Yeah, I wasn't fully here, but that a lot of things that happened around me contributed to that as well. So, but yeah, that's what I do. I try not to go into that state, but when I do get or feel like I'm going into that state, I tend to write. One of the things that I like to do is journal. I talk about that all the time. That's one thing that I know I've been super consistent on. I take my journal. I have like 4 or 5, maybe 6 laying around the house somewhere. There are some that I got rid of. But let me tell you the stories that are in there. Because I tend to try to talk out things that have happened. I talk through my emotions. I go back and I read through them, and sometimes I'm like, "Oh, girl, you was you was going through something, weren't you?" Or I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And most of the time, either I was overreacting, overthinking something, or overanalyzing something, or having a preconceived notion about something. So all of those things were happening, me going back, which is, it's great to keep a journal because you can always kind of refer back to some of the things that happen. So that's what I like to do. That's me. That's one of my things. Psychiatrist. I'm a big fan of supporting Black people. I'm a big fan of Black healthcare providers for Black people. And let me tell you why. Nothing against anybody else. I have love for everybody. But I say I prefer that because who else can experience or understand the experience that I went through rather than other than a Black person. Some of the experiences and the things that I've gone through as a Black person, I know a lot of other Black people can relate to me. And again, not to take anything away from any of the other ethnicities that are out there. I'm sure they can provide great insight, great, information and diagnose you properly. But it's nothing like being able to connect with somebody that looks like you and that can resonate with you, and not try to be quick to put you on medication and things of that nature. I'm not saying medication isn't good when you're going through depression or any of the other mental illnesses that are out there, but I'm just saying it's not always warranted to be on medication. And that makes me think about, there's a show out there, I think it's on HBO, called Therapist. It's a really great show. I've only seen a few episodes, but the few episodes that I have seen, man, great show, HBO. I think it's HBO. But I think it's rare to have Black psychiatrists out there. I don't see a lot of them. I remember trying to go to a psychiatrist maybe 7, 8 years ago. And I started going because I was being harassed at work. And it was bothering me. Like I had nobody to talk to. And I was like, I'm just going to call somebody. And I remember looking up the website for like support and help and stuff. And I found the psychiatrist, and she was not Black. Let me say that. I stopped going and I ended up changing jobs. So that's that on that. But like I said, they're pretty rare. It's not a lot of them out there. I would love for it to be more Black psychiatrists out there. My cousin actually brought it up that she wants to be a Black psychiatrist. I'm like, girl, do it. I'm trying to motivate her and push her. And I think she's going to go through with it. So I think she'll be great at it as well, because she does a good job of taking information and dissecting it and trying to fully understand what could potentially be an issue. So she does that already, being certified and having a degree and specializing in it. I think it would be amazing. So, and I would just, go to her a couple times a week. So yeah, I wanted to kind of share a story that happened to me recently. And when I say recent, I mean like yesterday. So, I actually had been feeling pretty down, and I didn't realize how bad it was until probably towards the end of my day. So I worked throughout the day. I went through meetings, and it was a decent day. There was nothing super harsh or challenging about that day, but I was feeling a ways. I just couldn't put my hand on it or finger on it as to why I was feeling so weird or so different. And that night, I ended up like laying in my bed and just crying, bawling. And I was just like super sad. I didn't understand like why I was crying. I was just going through the notions. And I stopped and I got up and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna go to the restroom because I felt like I was doing too much. And I was feeling a ways about certain things, and you know how you just don't know. So I get up and I go to the restroom, and this is maybe TMI, but I'm gonna spill it. And my cycle was on. So I don't know if y'all know, but I have a kid, and after my kid, I had IUDs. So the IUD causes you not to have a cycle. So I haven't had a cycle in 12 years. And I recently got it removed because I'm not in a relationship. I'm not dating anybody. And that's that. So I cried because I was so happy. But I also cried because I understood why I was crying and why I was so emotional. It was because of that. So all that to say, it's okay. It's all right. Take your time, go through your emotions. It's fine. We need to go through emotions more often than not because it's healthy and it's okay. So all that to say is I think that's my thing, like all that to say. All that to say. So support, Black psychiatrists if they're good. I'm all about supporting people that are good. And tell me, what are some of the ways that you deal with your emotions? Do you go the creative way by writing and painting or doing music or singing or things like that? Do you talk to a therapist? Do you go to therapy? I know there are so many different apps out there and different ways to access therapy and a therapist. Do you connect with a friend and chop it up with them and kind of speak freely to them about some of the issues that you're facing or some challenges that you're facing? What do you do to handle your emotions? I'd like to hear it in the comments. Yeah, so I appreciate y'all listening, and I hope y'all have a beautiful day because it is a beautiful day. I don't care if it's raining. I don't care if it's sunny. I don't care if it's snowing. It's a beautiful day because you're here. Happy 2021. Peace.